The way they do today, you know, people are telling lies for a living. You know what I mean?
You know what's the to me? There's a who pick who he be fight with.
Right.
Like if you see it and you go, oh, I'm not going because this.
Here's how it happened. Jay Prince allegedly tried to flex that. Check an oral's routine on none other than 50 Cent. But 50 didn't blink. Instead of bowing down, he exposed the entire situation. Tony Yayo just pulled up on Jay Prince, and what he revealed may be the most outrageous extortion setup hip-hop has ever seen. Games like Come Get Me If You Dare and Come Get Me are examples of how a Cold War between Aston Street Boss and Guns battle-hardened mindset turned nuclear. This feud had been simmering beneath the surface for years before it exploded. But in order to truly comprehend how this fire was started, you must go back in time.
To me, there's a who pick who he be fight with.
Right.
Like if you see it and you go, oh, I'm not going because this.
I won't for him, but
I think I can take him.
Right.
Jay Prince. The original creator of Rapalotre Records is more than simply a well-known figure in the industry. He is the model for a street-level shot called Houston, Signals in H-Town. People pay attention to what Prince has to say. If you were an artist pulling into the city without checking in, you risked losing your chain or even your safety. That's the kind of hold Jay Prince had, but then 50 Cent arrived. And 50 wasn't interested in street politics. He's been on that single soldier wave with self-proclaimed bosses since day one. There isn't any check-in or pleading for safety. It's just unadulterated confidence in a group that moves with military precision. He's been beefing with Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, and the entire Murder Inc. squad, which is how 50 Cent made his reputation.
Like I got out there, they showed me a lot of love. But Shreveport had the infrastructure already here. Like even the tax incentive was put back.
Well, yeah. And so a lot of people have been talking about, man, he's healed because they gave him a cheap deal or something like that. The reality is there's more to that deal than that. Way more.
They can't see.
Break that down.
I'm spending $20 million this year anyway, in the same building that they're saying was the cheap building.
Right.
Which was more than just a label. It was a militant organization that forbade check-ins, ring kissing, and most definitely paying for protection. That intensity sent a message early on that this man wasn't here to play by anybody else's rules. He was notorious for never backing down from the beginning. The streets were aware that 50 Cent was making a statement when rumors circulated that he would be heading to Houston. If 50 Cent appeared in Houston without kneeling down to Jay Prince, it was not merely disrespect. Rather, it was a full-on power struggle. And guess what happened?
But he didn't just come here to live. He has been helping out on so many causes in this city. And especially, he has been in our high schools, turning our high school students into entrepreneurs with his Unity Camp program. I've seen him firsthand. This city has been elevated because of his presence, and so today we have the honor of saying to him, he's our 2022 Grand Marshal. Give it up to Curtis 50 Jackson. Now, before I call on him to speak, let me present you first a key to the city of Houston. Anywhere you go, 550 buildings, use the key, the door will swing.
I love New York, but now I live in Houston. At first, it was like a Cold War, with 50 in New York doing what he does best, trolling like a master. Chess player named Jay Prince while Houston was being locked down like its silent king. They took slick shots from a distance, but never stepped on each other's blocks until 50 casually dropped a nuke on Twitter. I'll elaborate later, but this wasn't for attention. 50 had actual business plans in place, and his empire was being drained by taxes in New York. So Houston was a sensible move with more room, cheaper taxes, and a hip-hop scene that was set to take off. It was the liquor market in Houston, and that southern thrust that Branson Cognac needed, direct fire. 50 had intended to not only live in Houston, but also to fully integrate into the community, expand his business, and reinvest entertainment profits back into the city. However, things took a turn for the worse when he failed to check in, and J. Prince allegedly thought that 50's action was a daring attempt to seize power, akin to vying for a throne. The fact that J. Prince never kneels in the streets is a major sign of disrespect. And when he feels disrespected, rumors circulate that he sent people to lean on him in an attempt to get him to pay the street-level tax for city protection. However, he quickly shuts that down and tells his team, "Gun rolls with our own muscles are what we don't pay for." It became heated because he wasn't going to submit to being treated like a tourist in his own game.
Maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, is they seem to get hung up on that word, checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we may want to tell him.
Prince apparently retaliated with a no-fly zone order, essentially telling 50 that he was not welcome in Houston. Normally, that works for lesser-known figures, but since he is 50 Cent, he didn't back down and instead took to Instagram as if it were his own battleground, posting slick memes. He conveyed that he wasn't here to bow, but rather to build. And behind the smoke, he was already pouring bricks for a $20 million G-Unit film and TV studio smack in the middle of Houston. His subtle digs and comments made the entire event look like a reality show advertising.
Stuck on stupid and you're not using your powers or access to powers that you have. You're looking at it as a negative versus a positive. We all know if you can tap into good people wherever you go.
Wherever. Yeah.
This move might have changed everything, including jobs, internships, and a whole new wave of excitement for Houston's entertainment sector, but all of a sudden, the $20 million project was canceled and moved to Shreveport. Louisiana publicly stated that the goal was improved infrastructure. But if you're paying carefully, you'll see what happened in the political sphere. He's not a fool. He wasn't going to play tag with snakes and tall grass in Houston, where it's becoming too hot. He made a power move, slid out quietly, and continued building. But this is where it gets poetic. Even though Prince attempted to eject him, the city was embracing 50 more than ever before.
Don't turn me down. What you said? Don't turn me down. Don't, folks. Don't turn you down. Yeah, man, what you on, folks? What you mean what I'm on? What you on, man? What the deal there? What up? What up? You wanna buy your shit back? What? You ain't get you flunked out ass little nigga. I'm trying to see where you at. You dumb mother. What you got? $20 out of car? Nah, nigga. You know what we got? Nigga, stop that cap. Man. Motherfucker. Capping, bro. They gonna believe anything. You want me to start my car? I just took a picture in the same car today with my little boy. You on this.
The whole atmosphere changed in 2022, just a year after he landed in Houston. Sylvester Turner, the mayor of Houston, literally gave 50 Cent a key to the city and declared November 24th to be 50 Cent Day at the annual Thanksgiving Day Parade. The man was receiving love as if he had been born and raised in the city, and the mayor not only called him a rapper, but also a philanthropist and businessman who truly helps young people through his G-Unity program. His G-Unity Foundation 50 began giving back heavily by holding turkey drives, distributing toys, and donating to schools. The crowd went nuts as the school children performed, but it wasn't the only thing that happened. 50 didn't just arrive in Houston, he took over the entire city. Through his Sire Spirits brand, he partnered with the Houston Rockets, Texans, and Astros, making appearances in all major arenas. In 2023, he left $850,000 worth of toys for the neighborhood without any kind of promotion.
You know what I mean? Because the little homie young boy place got broke into. People went in his place, disrespected different things, and I got a call about it. And the little homies that went into this place want to make that right because they understand that, you know what I mean, young boy and family is okay with me. And as you can see, homie, to make a long story short, I got your keys to your Rolls Royce. I got your keys to your McLaren. You know, all that shit that they took. And the homie, Shakur, what you got, homie?
You got your Rolls Royce umbrellas. You got your keys. You got a bunch of other shit.
Then, in 2024, he contributed to the Houston Children's Charity by auctioning off 2 enormous bottles of his opulent La Mandua Champaga. The entire event brought in an incredible $6 million. And 50 was out here displaying his wealth and giving back like a local celebrity. Allegedly, while Jay Prince watched from the like a king who has just been overthrown, he had to watch someone else get married in the middle of the day while cameras flashed and mayors handed out keys. Then, Tony Yao's G-Unit's loudest soldier appeared on Vlad TV and finally explained to the public why G-Unit never played the check-in game. Taking out a raw gun, the check-in game, Yo didn't sugarcoat, is simply a slick means to line up rappers for extortion. You check in, you pay up, or you roll the dice and risk being robbed. Its ethos has always been a military-tight circle, self-reliant, and zero tolerance for street politics.
On no new relationships, all that, they don't respect none of that shit, man. If you got something for me, man, they got plenty around me you could call. Man, nigga, it's plenty ways you can get in touch with me. Man, don't get on no internet and do nothing publicly. Don't do nothing dealing with no publicity, none of that pussy and shit. And I'm good on the keys, gangster. When you buy shit cash, two keys come with the car anyway. Man, you
Protecting artists who land. In Houston is the foundation of Jay Prince's entire business empire. He crowned himself King of the H and ran a friendly custom called Checking In. It may seem cool, but when you think about it, it's actually pressure and a street-level scam disguised as protection. In phony hospitality, the unwritten rule is this: you should check in with Jay Prince if you're an artist visiting Houston. Pay your respects, which actually means pay up, and the jail is meant to protect you. It might even make sure your chain miraculously returns if it gets stolen. Although, let's face it, if it doesn't, things take a turn for the worse when you check in. Not holding back, Yayo brought up Pop Smoke's passing as a sobering reminder that when artists rely on street connections or believe they are safe without actual security, they end up in line. Yayo was straightforward when he said that the entire protection game has a price tag, and when the heat really gets to you, you're no longer in the 90s discussing mafia links, extortion, and setups. And he cautioned that these rap alliances are not only dangerous, but also federal bait. No one is coming to defend you. That's how you go into RICO territory, Yayo added, that life was unaffected by check-ins, freebies, or street favors. And they decided that it was better to be dangerous and keep their own group close-knit than to owe something to a street guy with a secret playbook. This is when things started to get real.
Things started to turn real ugly.
You're dealing with older people. They're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little niggas. Like, the way you talking, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little niggas. Like, for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas.
The NBA youngboy entered Houston on business without checking in, and as if by clockwork, havoc ensued. His place was broken into. Chains were taken, money was stolen, and car keys were taken. It was like a setup. But suddenly, Jay Prince appeared on Instagram and pretended to be the hero, saying he had recovered everything that had been taken. He posted a video and hit record instead of handling it like a true og behind the scenes. Youngboy couldn't stand it and immediately retaliated, calling 60-year-old clout chaser Jay Prince. He claimed that if it was truly about help, he would have picked up the phone instead of trying to go viral. And guess who else chimed in? They asked Jay Prince why he was still attempting to play kingpin in an era that had passed him by, and Cameron and Matchy pulled him along. They said it was a direct uplift from the OGs and they don't extort. If you're still trying to conduct street games in your 60s, you failed. Then there are the dice games.
That is, I have a track record, man, and the Prince family have a track record of 30 plus years of, honoring and
loving on our guests and being with our guests, and no shit like this never happened. But here's the thing, and this is what people don't understand. We ain't never had nobody to attack us. If you know what I mean. You know, when a man attack a situation with a weapon, then, you know, it become a playing field where, you know.
These high-stakes games in Houston are notorious not only for the money that is made, but also for what actually goes on behind the scenes. For years, there has been quiet talk about how they are rigged to trap rappers and line them up. And the saddest part is that we all remember that terrible night when a dice game went out of control. Shootings were fired and one person was shot. J. Prince is reportedly his second favorite hustle, right behind intimidation. One of the most beloved voices in the culture vanished in an instant. But let's talk about what actually happened, because rumors have been circulating and they aren't just the work of trolls. According to the rumors, J. Prince was upset that Takeoff and Quavo hadn't checked in correctly when they arrived in Houston. So he allegedly gave the go-ahead to give them a small lesson. It wasn't meant to be a deadly scare tactic, but instead it turned tragic. Takeoff lost his life, and when the question of accountability came up, J. Prince maneuvered around it like a seasoned pro, deflecting, mumbling, changing the topic, and doing everything but accepting responsibility. He even made a mistake and essentially admitted to destroying evidence, which isn't just shady, it's serious. And let's not forget Duke the Jeweler, the man who won a dice game. $100,000. Probably believing he had just achieved the victory of his life, he was ambushed, robbed, and killed before he could return to his ride. This is another talented black man who was eliminated not because of beef, but because of rigged games and this perverted street code that has been destroying the culture for too long. Now, compare that to what 50 Cent is doing, where one man is out there creating fear and the other is creating community. In their 50s foundations, providing food for families, awarding scholarships, and leaving a legacy. Meanwhile, as if it were 1995, J. Prince continues to use antiquated street power. This is where the dramatic twist comes in. 50 isn't just trolling anymore. He's been accumulating actual proof on the street by obtaining receipts.
Mike and Junior was walking by. He actually went in the restroom to wash blood off his hand where he had reached up on the Takeoff. He had to pick him up and his fingers went in.
50 Cent has been communicating with people in the background, gathering receipts and accumulating evidence that suggests the entire check-in process may be a covert extortion scheme. If the federal government discovers this, the game is finished. And this isn't just about Instagram memes. No more 50 plays chess, not checkers, and he doesn't bluff. He's notorious for converting jokes into power plays, and at the moment, he may be assembling evidence or holding receipts that may end this whole situation. One post, one leak, one anonymous Fed tip, and J. Prince's run, maybe it's finished for good. Because one man has been clinging to his street persona like it's 1999, while the other has been working on something greater. 50 didn't simply move to Houston. He took the city, and J. Prince allegedly tried to scare musicians away from 50, was commended by the mayor, distributed scholarships, organized fundraising events, and contributed to the development of genuine programs for the public. So now, the question is very clear. Who is the real leader of Houston, the shadowy street boss or the man who holds the key to the city and the hearts of its citizens? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Did 50 go too far, or is he the forgotten hero? In order to reveal the dark side of hip-hop politics, hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this with your friends, and leave your comments below. Don't miss the next video, which we promise will be much messier. We'll see you there.